All right. Welcome to another edition of Living Boldly with Purpose. I feel like I'm loud today just because I'm just kind of excited. It has been a really cool day today, other than just working. I mean, there's nothing special about today. It's a typical day. It's a day that I just usually have. But for some reason, we're on, this happens to be as we're filming this, the 8th day of January, 2026. I don't usually give the date, but because it's the beginning of a new year, and I've kind of started a new routine. I was just telling Angela that I decided this year because so many people ask me, "Well, what do you?" I don't need my glasses right now, but I might. Well, yeah, I guess I do. Uh, I have to but I was saying that a lot of folks have asked me, like, what do you do every day? Like, how do you have so much energy? How do you regulate yourself in the things that you do? And I said, well, I have a routine and things that I do every single morning that just, kind of, I would say it energizes me. And so I try to get up every morning. And so this year I decided to do it on and make it live. So that added an extra something to me and my accountability because usually I could just turn over a little bit and get up, but if I say I'm going to do it at 6:30, I got to really start it right at 6:30, and so I'm getting up at 6 and doing some other stuff, just getting ready to go on, and then I'm starting out with and you'll appreciate this with the things you do. And just so I start out with just breathing. So I sit down and so this morning when I was doing my breathing, and I take these big belly breaths, and then I take, I count to 10, and I'm having everybody do them with me. But the technology wasn't working right. So, but I still started it on time. So I'm really trying to adjust the technology and breathe at the same time, and I'm almost choking, and it was just hilarious to think, to get in. And then I'm saying, well, I don't feel calm right now because I'm trying to fix the technology and breathe at the same time. So I stopped. I said, okay, forget the technology, just breathe. You can hear me a little bit, even if you can't see me, we breathe. Then we went back to then I do I do one glass of like an 8-ounce glass of water so I can hydrate at the end. And then we go into, I have it written down here, then I go into a devotional. So I do like a 7-minute devotional. And then I do more breathing, another 10 seconds of breathing, more water, another eight ounces of water. And then I do a gratitude journal. So I read my gratitude journal and tell other people that they're watching to write the gratitude journal. And then I go into some affirmations. Then after I do the affirmations, then I go into a word of a day. And then after I do the word of the, I think the word of the day was humility. And so we do word of a day. And then we do, I talk about making a connection with somebody, keeping a promise to yourself. And then I tell everybody to go figure out their money and exercise because I'm not going to exercise with you. And then I go on a 3-mile walk. Well, today I went to do my 3-hour walk and it's snowing outside. And I'm like, oh no, we're just going to have to go do the elliptical thing, or not the elliptical, the rower, because I'm not going out there and walking whether it's a blizzard outside or snowing outside. So that's what I did this morning. And then I got on a conference call. And now, for those of you who've been waiting, and I took almost 4 minutes to just tell you that story, that was just the story, that I have Angela Lewis on. And she is in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. She is an amazing, incredible individual that you are going to go find out. And there's sometimes when we do these shows where I might not know the person at all, or I've never talked to him before, and sometimes it might be a little bit boring when we get started. But I try to pull out of them, and I'm pulling their teeth. I had one guy. This is back. This is like when I first started doing podcasts, and I was so excited. And so I was like, so he worked at the BSU at I think it was at Morehouse. Yeah, he's at Morehouse. So he's at a historically black college. He has been working at the BSU at a historically black college for like 30 years. And so now he's retired and I get to interview him. So I want to know like all the things that had happened over the 30 years and all the people that he helped. And I said, you guys don't go find that interview, but I did make it live, but don't go looking for it, right? So I'm asking his questions and I'm saying, so you got to work at this, in this incredible university. My hero Edmund Moses, I know, went there, and all these things, because I used to run behind Edwin Moses when I was running track, and I would see his back, and so he went there, And so I'm asking all these questions, and I say, so were you able to help students at the BSU, throughout the 30 years? And he said, yep. I was like, okay,
Well
cool.
said.
Can you elaborate on that? Yeah. And then I say, okay, so maybe tell, what are some of the things like, were you able to, spend time, at the campus and see them after they graduated and do, yep. I'm like, woo-hoo. So that interview was supposed to be an hour. We only got to half hour because I must have asked 40 questions in 1/2 hour because they're almost all yes and no questions. So I'm sure that's not going to happen today. But so we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about all these wonderful things, past, present, and future, and how we can help folks. And you're going to want to watch this. Oh, here's the other thing, and I'll stop. I'll stop talking after this because I know you want to get on. And if we go longer, that's okay too. But I used to watch podcasts all the time, and I would be like feverishly writing down. I'd be like, "Oh, Angela said this, and she said this, and she said this," and I'd be trying to keep up, and then I'd miss some stuff. What was that word? I can't remember the word, and you go into something else. Not thinking that all I have to do is hit the pause button, then I can write down whatever I need to write down, and I'm going to be fine. Yep, I would spend like not being able to read my writing because I don't know how to hit the pause button. But since then, I'm a veteran now. I'm watching. So if you're watching this, and you don't know how to hit the pause button. If she says something that is a gem, pause it and then come back to it. All right. So I've asked her, Angela, to tell her story, and we're going to find all about her, Angela together. I'll probably ask some follow-up questions. I told her she can start anywhere she wants. She can't get it wrong unless if she makes it up, the only person who's going to know is her mom, and then her mom's going to come and get on her for making it up. So, but other than that, you can't get it wrong because it's your story. It's the part you want to tell. So the floor is yours, and let's have some fun.
Well, Dr. B, first off, thank you so much for inviting me to be a guest on Living Boldly with Purpose. I'm really, really excited to jump into this conversation. And I'll be brief about my story, and then we can dive into whatever you find interesting.
Okay, cool.
A little bit about me, and probably the most obvious thing when people interact with me is that I'm 6'1", and I've been this tall since I was 12 years old.
Oh, no way.
Yes, see what I mean? I get that all the time. I've been
Well,
getting
I
that since I
wasn't.
was 12.
I was six. I was got to 6'2", but I didn't like when I was in high school. I was a gymnast my freshman year, and I was 5'4". So I was what 14, 5'4", 5'3", and then I grew like 7 inches in it. But you were there when you were. Oh, that's
Yes,
awesome. That's so cool.
yes. I've been the same height for a very long time.
All right.
And because I was tall at a young age, I was asked to play on a basketball team. And
Mhm.
this basketball team taught me so much about life. And there were three big things that happened with playing on this team. One, I was able to travel. Two, I wasn't very good. So I was blessed to be on a team that had girls who had been playing much longer than me. And I was able to learn from them. And so I learned a lot about the importance of environment. I learned about opening how sports opens the world to us. And I ultimately played professionally in Europe. And then I've coached every level from my niece's fifth grade team, NCAA Division II, Division I, and professionally. And so sport has been at the center of the experiences that I've had. And at the core of who I am is mentoring. And so I've worked in colleges and universities running mentor programs, leadership programs. I've worked in K through 12 schools, after school programs, all type of youth leadership programming has been a part of the core of who I am. And now I live in Texas, and a lot of the things I do center around sport, but really how do we help young people communicate more effectively? How do we help professionals build connections and learn how to lead better? And of course, head of customer success with SpeakerHub, which is where and how we connected, which is this tremendous platform that teaches about visibility. So my whole journey, to sum it up, has been around sport, communication, and leadership.
Well, there you go. That was still so brief, but you're not getting off the hook that easily as I ask your question. Because I want to really talk about like identity, because now you are this 12-year-old who is 6'1", and all the other kids are not. And so you show up maybe in And as I think of like junior high and going to, because I've been a middle school teacher, elementary school teacher, high school teacher, so I know the makeup of kids, and I'm imagining you kind of felt a little bit uncomfortable around some of the other kids at some of the point in time, and so your identity was you're this tall girl that doesn't, and coordination is probably not has hit yet, so you're probably feeling awkward. Talk to me a little bit about your identity and how you were able to become the woman that you are today as a result of this is the things I had to go through. Maybe give us a few stories or something that happened as you were.
Yes, identity to me is a really big part of confidence building because I think that's what you're alluding to. If we get to
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
core of it is how do you go from being very uncoordinated, feeling like you don't fit in, and then having confidence. So I created this framework called the triple threat. You know, everything with me is basketball related.
Love
This
it.
is the triple threat confidence framework. And it starts with identity. And identity, and I'll just talk about the identity portion
Mhm.
of it now. It's three
Perfect.
parts. We'll start with identity. Identity to me is what are the things that we value and what we value informs our habits and decision making. So for example, as you mentioned, I'm 6'1". I stand out amongst everyone. And my brothers play basketball. So I value time with my family, and sports is what we did. So we took on the identity of athletes. We played basketball in the backyard all the time. We were always going to the gym. We did the things that embodied who we said we wanted to be. So we were basketball players, we were athletes, and we all at some point had this desire to play at the collegiate level. And so not only were we playing, we were watching the game, constantly watching to understand what it takes. And then the environment. So identity is influenced heavily by environment. It's influenced heavily by our habits. And then it's also influenced heavily by the the habits that we have, the environments that we have, and then what we're saying to ourselves, like that self-talk really impacts how we feel about ourselves. So to this day, I'm going to say this. I don't say this publicly often, but I'm going to say it with you, Dr. B. I
All
still
right.
have friends who call me Lady Shaq because I was that much taller than everyone. So Shaquille O'Neal, and I say that, then Shaquille O'Neal became my favorite player.
Okay.
So I just took on all of that. You're tall, you're strong, you're dominant. I took on that identity once I started playing basketball, whereas before I started playing, I didn't have a label, for lack of a better word. I didn't have a really clear place, but on the court, it was clear what I could eventually do and what I ultimately did to be able to play at a high level.
That's, I mean, I love how you're saying that and taking on the role models that, because I think of athletics as, for me, it was the only reason that I'm where I'm at, right? I mean, because I was a special ed kid that they told I wasn't going to be enough and I couldn't do anything. I just happened to be a pretty good athlete. So my friends came because, not because they wanted to know me first, because they wanted to hang out with somebody who had some ability. But then I think of, like some of I tell people today, you know um, you can't get to the point though where that person or that role model is so important in your life that you don't do anything, like wearing the same guy's name on your jersey. It'd be cool to wear O'Neal for a little bit when you're a kid, but now you're 50 years old still wearing O'Neal on your back. You just go, wait a minute, where did you grow out of? This is who I am, and not instead of who you are. I mean, are there times where, like, how did you grow out? Was it because you said, I'm tall, I'm strong, I'm dominant, he's my favorite player, but he's just a player, he's a man, he's not,
Mhm.
because the person that
Yeah,
I look, I do everything with. Yeah.
yeah, sure. What I hear you saying is when the goal changes, how do we shift the identity? Because I used
Mhm.
to believe that you had to like change and become something else. What I've grown to know for sure is what I learned, what I get to keep from being Lady Shack, I can
Mhm.
transfer into public speaking. What I learned from being Lady Shack, I can transfer into the books that I've written. So you take the lessons that you learned from this one particular form of your identity, and then that you take the lessons and then you stack upon it. So you never have to let it go. I guess that's the biggest thing I'm saying. Like if you're an athlete at whatever stage in your life or whatever just don't let go of what you've done in the past. You don't have to let it go. Use what you've learned from it to help you do the next thing that you want to do, because things get hard and you have to remember those moments. Like, I know, I'll give you a prime example, Dr. B. I know what it feels like not to be able to make a left-hand layup. I know what it feels like for the ball to slide through my hands. I also know what it feels like to have to rewrite your book 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times because it's not good enough yet. So I've learned how to put in the reps, but I got that from being Lady Shaq. And so that stuff stays with us. You want to keep the lessons with you. And Shaq, I eventually became fans of others who were more like me, like Shaniqua Holesclaw and other people. So I found other role models. Shaq is one that they gave me. And then I went and found other ones for myself.
Gotcha. Did you ever meet Shaq? Have you ever?
Not yet.
Okay.
Shaq. Let's meet. I met him at the Basketball Hall of Fame, like his statue, and not statue, but it's like the cutout where you stand next to him. It's like 7 feet tall. That place is really cool. Yeah. But no, I haven't met Shaq in real life yet, but I will.
We need to work on that. Let me find some folks that might be able to make that happen. One of the things is, now there's a responsibility, because after you become, you're an athlete, you're a professional basketball player, you stand out. I'm sure you go in places where there's maybe young African-American, young girls and stuff that are looking up to you going, if she can do it, I can do it. Or they're just saying, I don't know if I can. What are some of the things that you impart on young girls or even young boys who are wanting to become better as you're having conversations with them?
Some of the things that I impart on them is the second part of this triple threat framework, and it's direction. And direction is about having the vision and how are your critical thinking and problem solving skills to make it out of the valley. So the vision that you have, to your point, everyone can say, oh, I want to play college sports, or I want to write a book, or I want to play professionally, or I want to be professional, whatever it is. You can have this vision of something, but you are going to get knocked down so many times, and your willingness and desire to get back up and your ability to get back up and your ability to be coachable is what gets you through. So here's what I tell them. One, be willing to make mistakes. Making mistakes is just a part of it. You can't avoid it. And so if you're not willing to miss 50% of your shots, if you can't handle actually not playing in a game, if you can't handle having to do the reps over and over again, then you probably don't want what you think you want. So one, be willing to make mistakes and keep going. Two, when you make those mistakes, bounce back quick, like get up and get right back into the game. You can't just sit out of the game. Get right back into it. Be honest about the mistake that you made, and then go after it. And then the last piece I would tell them is be coachable. There are people who have walked the path that you're trying to go. We always hear success leaves clues. Find someone who's been there and actually listen to them and follow their path.
I have to dive deeper into being coachable.
Okay.
Because, oh my gosh, I've been coaching track now for 38 years and coaching people in business and all kind of other stuff. And there are some absolute telltale signs of somebody who thinks that they're coachable and then that there's no way they're coachable. So maybe just kind of help us define what coachable is and what that means in your world, because it's so easy to say, be coachable. Oh, I'm coachable. I'll do whatever you say, right?
I think coachability first starts with a mindset and heart posture that I don't know everything. So there's a level of learning. There's a level of I am willing to learn, a willingness to learn and get better, and a desire to learn and get better that creates coachability. And if I don't really want to get better, then I won't lean on and do the things that the person who is coaching me has said. Like, you have to trust that they know and believe that they know, and that they know a little bit more than you. They don't have to know everything in the world, but about this specific topic, they know more, and I'm willing to follow their guidance. And it's going to feel uncomfortable. That's the piece, Coach B, that I think makes people resistant to being coachable. It's, for example, if I'm in the gym working with a player and her shot is short, I know it's short, she knows it's short, and it is short because her release isn't high enough. And I'm telling her, like, you need to release higher, elbow above the eye. And she's like, no. And it feels weird. It feels weird at first. So when your coach or someone who's coaching you asks you to do something, it's not going to feel good. It's going to feel weird because it's a behavior change. It's a mindset change. It's maybe even a change in your values where you actually have to work harder. So don't expect it to feel comfortable when your coach insists that you do something and get better.
Yeah.
You have flashbacks on that one.
Woo! Yes. Well, I mean, your trust is huge. You got to trust the person who's coaching you. And even if you're put in a situation that you've been told, hey, this person knows what they're doing, or they give you their pedigree. And not every athlete is a good coach. I'll just tell you that, especially if it's in athletics. Not every athlete is a good coach. Because, I think, I don't know, maybe Michael Jordan would be a great coach. But I think of the things that he was able to do on a basketball court. You can't coach that. It was just pure talent. So if he goes, go do this, this, and this, and it's something nobody else can do, that's part of the issue. But when you said trust, and then you said being, it's not going to be comfortable. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable if you're going to be coached.
Yes, and
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say that's where the growth happens.
Mm-hmm.
The growth happens in the discomfort. If you want to be comfortable, just keep doing everything the same exact way and nothing's going to change. And then you'll be comfortable, but you're not growing. It'll feel good and you'll be successful because you'll actually know how to do the things. It's like, if you know how to do everything that you're doing, then you're not growing. It's only when you step into I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I will learn because I will be coached, or I will learn because I'm going to work hard enough. That's where growth happens.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is so good. All the things you've done in your life, and all the books that you've written, and playing professional sports, and being a mentor, what are you most proud of all the things that you've accomplished so far? Because there's a lot to go. You're going to be proud of something else coming up, but so far.
What I'm most proud of has nothing to do with anything that I've accomplished publicly.
Okay.
What I'm most proud of is how I've been able to be by my parents' side and support them. My dad passed in August.
Okay. Oh, that's tough.
The whole last month, man, I was right there.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Left it all with him and for him.
So good.
Most proud of that. Like, books aside, basketball aside, nothing compares to that.
So cool. That is neat. And just when we think about why we do the things we do, and knowing how big connection is, and how big, whether it's family, whether it's cousins, whether it's young athletes that you're working with, how are you able to step aside a little bit and say you're more important, or this relationship is more important than all the things we're doing? Of all the basketball games that we could play, or all the time, that I could be writing paperwork or something, the value of community and relationship, what would you say? How you do that?
How did I step away?
How did you do it? And then how do you, how do you help other folks understand how important relationship is compared to the drivenness of maybe working?
Well, I go back to identity. Like, I was a daughter before a basketball player, right? My dad and mom, but dad, we're talking on this context of what I'm most proud of, was there. Like, he was there every game. And like, I knew his time was limited. Like, we knew what was coming. I mean, we could see the writing on the wall. And so in my heart and mind, there was no other option than to be there. Like, nothing else made sense or made a difference than being able to be by his side. So it's values. It's like my identity is wrapped in my value system. My values say, when and if my parents need me, I am there. When the people I love need me, if I can be there, I will move everything for them and be there. That's more important to me. I put a bunch of stuff on hold because I
Mhm.
knew that that was most important. So you got to decide
Wow,
what you
that's
value. You have to just choose
mhm,
what's most important to you. And I would say, which would you regret more?
mhm.
I would have massive regrets if I didn't do what I did. And I have no regrets. And I can move forward with everything else without having to wonder or worry, did I make the right choice?
Wow, what a huge legacy that your dad and how he formed you and grew you and all the parts of your life and the woman that you've become to be part of that. Like you said, he didn't miss any games. It sounds like you had lots of
It's my
conversations.
guy.
What
No,
a what a huge testament to him. Yeah.
thank you. Pops is amazing. He's amazing. And sport was how we connected. I mean, Dr. B, we would watch Friday night fights, everything from Friday night fights. Super Bowl was our thing. We would have Super Bowl, but like just us, the Super Bowl parties. When dad was when his health was failing, I was with him and we would watch sports documentaries. So we watched everything from Coach Prime to Vince Carter to Mike Tyson. We watched WNBA games. I mean, sport was our thing. And so sport has this way of bringing families and people together in ways that not too many other things do.
Yeah. Oh, so neat. Well, thank you for sharing that. That is, so good to hear. And with that, I mean, and you said that you kind of knew that his health was going, to the point it was. And that's got to make an impact on thinking about your own health and other
Yes,
people's health. And so what are some of the things that you do or maybe have changed or continue to do that make sure that you're healthy because there's so much
sure.
more you have? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. So I have two parts to this, which
All right.
I think the viewers will appreciate. The part one is grief is no joke. My father was a baker, and all of my friends and family know, like, I loved baked goods. And so as dad's health began to fail, and a few months after, I ate every donut I could find. Like donuts were our thing. I've eaten so many donuts and biscuits and croissants and so so what I'm doing now on the other side of that,
Yeah. No more
I,
donuts.
I am shedding myself of the donuts. And one
Hmm.
day I ate like 5 in a row. I swear, I got a box of them. It was just tearing them up, crying and eating donuts. Um, so I still very much have the identity of an athlete. So no matter how many donuts I eat, I know where what the foundation of health and wellness and vitality and energy lies. And it's not in donuts, it's oatmeal and walnuts and berries and stuff. So I hired a health and wellness coach a few years ago, Dr. B, because I can't eat like I did at 25,
Oh
playing
no.
sport,
Yeah.
not at 43 at all. So I
Wow.
learned how to eat for my body and what foods give me energy and what rituals. So I drink a lot of tea, a lot of hot tea all year round. I eat
Okay.
soups all year round, vegetable-based soups all year round. My dad used to make a soup, and so I make that vegetable-based soup all the time, regularly. And then outside of that, it's usually pretty light. Working out, I do what feels right for my body. I know I need muscles, so I train, but I don't have like a strict regimented workout routine. I stretch, I walk, I salsa dance, which we can get into later, but I absolutely love to dance. So for me, it's nutrition is simple, and then fitness is what feels good, and I push with resistance training on the different exercises. So don't
Yeah.
follow my routine. Basically, is what I'm saying. Find your own. I am not. I can't help you with that part, but fruits and vegetables, more of that.
No, I think one of the things that you're saying is so important because there are people who will go to the gym all the time and they'll work out and their diet is terrible. And
Hmm.
then there's people who will, have a pretty good diet, but they never go exercise. And our body needs both. Our body needs the ability to do both in a big way. And so, donuts every now and then are okay. But, if your diet is donuts every day, 2 or 3 times a day, uh, and you're 40 years old or more, then no, it's not. It's not going to work
No,
because
no
your
more
body's
donuts.
going to start screaming at you. And then the signs that, um, especially for our culture, is not going to the doctor, not getting our physicals, not doing, drinking enough water and hydrating. I mean, water and Kool-Aid are not the same thing. I just have to, or not purple Kool-Aid or red Kool-Aid. I mean, that's
Red, so good.
so good, but it's not water. And so, that I guess that's part of our health journey is just saying, so I mean, for you, like regular physicals, regular going to the
Yeah,
doctor. Okay.
there's there are definitely regular doctor's appointments. My health and wellness coach years ago got me a scale. And the scale is phenomenal because not only does it have your weight, it has your metabolic age,
Okay.
which mine is higher than my current age, which is, so it has your metabolic age, it has your BMI, it has all of these different metrics to help you really see where you are from a holistic standpoint. And I think community matters too, like the environments that we're in. And so one thing that I've tried to do is say, hey, let's go for a walk, or let's get a smoothie instead of a drink, or let's like, especially at this age where there's a lot of gathering and a lot of brunching and a lot of dinners and happy hours and all of that, is really trying to offer another option.
Thank you for bringing up community because a part of our health is our mental health and our spiritual health and our, not just the physical health. It
Yeah.
is the healthiness of our families, the healthiness. We all have folks in our family that are probably not healthy all the time, healthy for us all the time, the get togethers. But for me, like when we would go to my grandma's house, my grandpa and grandma had a farm in California and we would spend Thanksgiving there. There was nothing healthy at all about going to grandma's house for a big gathering, but realizing in moderation that it's, hey, we're doing this at Thanksgiving. We're not doing it all the time. But being around family was kind of the counterbalance to the food because not only are we eating a ton of food, but we're having fun,
Yeah.
we're laughing, we're playing games, which to me might even be more healthy than some of the other things that we put in our body sometimes. I mean, are you in agreement with family and community and how all that works?
Yes, I'm in agreement that we should enjoy our time with our families.
Agreed.
And I think a lot of times we focus on kind of like Thanksgiving food isn't good for us. Christmas food is bad. But it's really what we do day to day. It's those micro habits that impact our health. So like if I'm going to my mama's house, I'm going to eat whatever she cooks. Whatever
Yep.
my aunties make, I'm going, because my day to day isn't going to be that. And so I think we can do a better job of, or everyone can evaluate their own day to day habits and not give the responsibility of other people to make us healthy. Like that's our responsibility. We're the only ones who control hand to mouth. No one's force feeding us bad donuts, but I
That
would
is,
take them if you fed them to me.
oh yeah, me too. Well, I went over to my dad's house last night, and my dad has, he hasn't been married to my mom in a while, and then he married somebody, else, and then she passed away, and then this last year, the funeral director for his ex-wife's, or not ex-wife, his deceased wife, uh, paired him, said you got to talk to this other lady because her husband died last year, and so a year ago, my dad and this lady, they, got together and now they got married in August. They're both 87 and they're learning life together as two 87-year-olds, which I'm so happy because
Wow.
they're doing all this wonderful things. Well, she loves to cook. And so I guess on like New Year's Day, you have to have that black eyed peas. You
You
have to
do.
have, yeah. And so I go over to her house yesterday and they're like, I'm not trying to eat a ton of sweets, but she's like, you have to have some ice cream. You have to have some cake. Now, am I going to make this lady feel bad because I'm not going to eat her cake that she spent all day making or her pie? Nope, I'm going to eat it. And so I'm just not going to eat as much. I'm going to have to tell.
Yes.
But you were so right. What are you? I love to ask this. What are you most excited about in life right now? Because when we started before in our green room here, before the green room just means before
Yeah.
the podcast came out. What you said you were excited about life? But yeah, what part of your life is happening right now that just energizes you?
There are probably three big buckets that I'm energized with in terms of projects.
Okay.
One are the books. And so you see my books behind me. One is The Game Changing Assist: 6 Simple Ways to Choose Success, which was published in 2012. It has been updated and is now re-released, the 2025 version. Post Moves, which was originally published in 2016, is Post Moves: The Female Athlete's Guide to Dominate Life After College. That book has since been updated and was re-released for it was re-released at the end of last year, so just at the end of 2025. And the children's book is the newest project. It's called A Ball and a Chance, and it comes out in March. And it is about a little girl named Destiny who's very tall and feels out of place. And she goes to this basketball camp in Colombia with her aunt. And she has this incredible experience there and gains confidence. But that book really talks and highlights how extended family are critical for kids' development. So there's an auntie that's highlighted in this book.
Mm-hmm.
The book highlights how sports bridges culture regardless of language. And then also in this book, on every illustration is a little St. Louis arch. I'm originally from St. Louis. I don't think I mentioned that to start. And in this book, there's a little St. Louis arch on every illustration because I believe you take wherever you're from, wherever you go. And St. Louis is with me always. So I'm really excited about all of the books that I've written because there are also programs and workshops that can be given to students and at all levels. And we take those principles of sport into our adult lives as well. So really excited about that.
All right. Well, you said, let me put you back so that I can see me. Whoa, where did you go?
I'm still here. I'm still
All
here.
right.
I haven't left.
I see you now. Okay, so I just messed up on clicking my thing to put me back on. You said there was three things you were excited about.
Yes.
We got the books. What's the other two?
The other two are speaking engagements. So I'm doing some workshops on communication, on leadership. The first one is coming up at the beginning of February. So I'm really excited about that. It's with the American Businesswomen of America. So that, very, very excited about that. And then the third thing is everything that we're doing at SpeakerHub. I mean, we are shifting the platform. We're helping leaders grow their visibility and people grow their businesses and create businesses. So love what we're doing at SpeakerHub as well. So those are my big three right now.
All right. Well, tell us a little bit about what SpeakerHub is, because you brought it up now. So I don't want people to go, what's she talking about?
Right.
Love it.
So SpeakerHub is a platform with over 4 million contacts, and those contacts are with podcasts, associations, conferences, and media outlets to help leaders and business owners grow their businesses and visibility without having to dance on TikTok to get that visibility. So we believe that thought leaders should share their thoughts, and we provide the way and the tools and systems for them to share their thoughts and have an impact.
Oh, cool. Thank you for sharing. What is your vision now for your future? You know, as you think about your goals and your dreams, this is the beginning of the year. You said you released the book at the end of 2025, which is like 9 days ago. But
Right.
which is so cool. But I mean, it's like I can't wait to go get it now. We got another one coming out in March. But the vision for your life and all the things that are going to happen that you just know is going to happen, because you seem like this person who makes dreams happen.
Oh, thank you. I received that. Well, God has put a lot of visions on my heart, and they're all around inspiring and connecting people to access to opportunity and helping them develop those skills. So communication is my background, bachelor's and master's in it. And I am passionate about making sure that young people in particular have access to opportunities because they've learned how to build authentic relationships and how to sustain those. So character and professional development are key for me. So the big vision is simple: to continue doing what I'm doing at a greater scale, speaking and writing even more, to have an impact.
I love that so much. I mean, when you think of purpose and living boldly with purpose and finding what that purpose, I can tell you have found that and are enjoying it. and I can
Thank
see
you.
you in a rocking chair at an elementary school at 80 some years old,
Yes.
reading a children's book to a bunch of kids. I
Yes.
have that in my vision to be able to.
Yes, 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 all of that. There's this speaking of that, there's this line in A Ball and a Chance that alludes to kind of the question you asked and my goal for
Mhm,
this year. Little Destiny in the book
mhm,
is afraid to go on this trip. She's nervous about this trip. And her auntie says to her, always remember, it's new, it's hard, it's possible. With courage and heart, you'll be unstoppable. It's new, it's hard, it's possible. With courage and heart, you will be unstoppable. So, being unstoppable is like my whole motto for this year. Courage, let's break down the
mhm,
phrase because it's important. So, courage means even if I'm afraid, I'm going to do it. Courage is doing it in spite of fear.
mhm.
Heart means when it's hard, I'm going to push through. I'm not, when I fall down, I'm going to get back up. When I feel resistance, I'm going to keep going. When someone says no, I'm going to go to the next person to get a yes. Like I will keep going. That's hard. So if I have the courage, if you have the courage, if we have the courage to move past our fear and keep going and to get back up when we fall, we'll be unstoppable.
Oh my gosh. That's got to sit with me for a second. I can't wait to read this book. I can't wait to read this book to my grandkids. Oh my gosh, this is, yeah. So
I've
hurry up and publish it so I can.
Dr. B, it is in the final stages of illustration. I have I created these little mock-ups of the book and I've read it to kids. I've had my little cousins read it. The feedback has been incredible. They feel empowered. They really connect with Destiny because she feels uncomfortable. So all the kids spoke to feeling like a little uncomfortable at times. And then the parents said, one of my friends who was reading the book said, "Oh, that helped me. That really helped me." So I'm excited. The book is a children's book in that it has illustrations, but the themes are applicable to all of us.
Wow. It is so much of what you just said is just resonating with me. And there's one of my sons that I can't wait to get the book in his hand. And he has two daughters that are just amazing. But that son of mine works for Pixar, and so that's all I'm going to say at this
Receive
point.
that. I
Whenever
receive.
you're ready for a tour of Pixar, you let me know, and you will have.
I'm ready for a tour of Pixar.
All right, so cool. We will make that happen because you have to go with somebody to be able to go through it. But yeah, 100%, you get to go hang out at Pixar for a little bit. So yeah, he's
Thank you.
we're gonna
That
have some fun with
I'm
that.
so excited.
I know. So, and for those of you who are watching the show, we'll figure out how to get you in there too. So, if we need to. Talk to me a little bit about your faith and how faith has played a
Yeah.
part of who you are and how you walk through this planet.
Faith is critical for walking through this life. I grew up in the church, in the Baptist church in
All
St.
right.
Louis, and I was the kid in Sunday school standing up giving the Sunday school lesson. This is
Very
before I grew taller than everyone and got insecure. And so I was my mom tells stories about me like giving the Sunday school lesson and how God has gifted me with the ability to speak and connect and to really like touch people's hearts.
Mhm.
And so I think for me, my prayer is to stay in alignment because sometimes we definitely question our gifts and we question the guidance and the vision that we have because it takes longer than we think. Dr. B, like we
Right.
see things, God puts things on our hearts and we think we can do it tomorrow. And you realize, oh, just because it didn't happen doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And so for me, faith is huge. It's huge. It's what keeps me going um, on the really great days and in the midst of incredibly challenging moments.
Well, thank you for sharing that. The When I think about trust, the word trust, and the reason that this podcast even started is because I went to this trust leadership conference, and I'm there and going, my community needs to get some of this information that they're not getting. But there's times when you have to discern, is this a person I should trust, or should I show up trusting first and then give people the benefit of the doubt, and then if they lose the trust, then they step back? Or do I step into my relationships with people cautiously and say, I'm not going to trust you till you prove to me? How do
Mhm.
you approach trust with all these things that you do and all these people that you interact with, and knowing who to trust and who not to trust?
I would say you don't trust anyone with everything.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah.
craziness,
Absolutely
right?
not.
So you sprinkle, you learn over time. I mean, and you can, a couple things. One, look at their track record. We talk about this with SpeakerHub. We have this really cool trust framework. One is their track record, like what have they done? So
Mhm.
if you say to me, I need help writing a book, you should be able to trust that I can help you with that. You can look and see what I've done. If
Yeah.
you say to me, I want to, if you say to me, I'm having car trouble, don't trust anything I say about your engine. Don't trust anything I say about your tires. I'm the last one. Don't trust me on that, right? So look at the track record to see if you can trust the person. Are they relatable? Which is to me a heart space, right? Like, do they have the humility, and do you trust that they actually care about your interest, right? So I don't trust people who are only self.
Mhm.
Um, what's the word I'm looking for? Not they're the people who only care about themselves.
Narcissistic.
Selfish. Yes, selfish. That's the
Selfish. There
word.
we go. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So if they're selfish, no, we don't trust that. Do they genuinely care? Is this a mutually beneficial interaction? Or how can I, you're looking to serve. So trust is built on some of those principles. And
Mhm.
then are they transparent, or do they act like they just kind of they are the type of person who never make mistakes and they know everything? Like, we don't trust those kind of people who are know-it-alls, because they're not a real human, because everybody has messed up who's accomplished anything, regardless of their track record, right? So you can't go with track record alone.
Mhm.
You can't Track record isn't enough to see if you can fully trust them. If you're talking about like developing a meaningful relationship, if you're talking about like someone just to help you do a thing, then if they have the competency, then they can do the thing. But if you're talking about deep relationships, that takes time,
Yeah.
and you'll be able to know if you can trust them based on their heart space as well as their willingness to serve and help.
Yeah. I try to use a lot of prayer too. Like, God, is this
Yeah,
the
yeah, that's the
information
cheat
that they
code.
give to me? Yeah,
Yeah.
that code that's in there. I got one more question that then I'll ask you, to kind of tell us what you want to. But personal development, you don't get to where you're at, do what you're being able to do. I mean, it's one thing to have talent, and talent is important. I don't want to dismiss talent, but we have to work on ourselves. What are some of the things that you do even today, or some of the habits you got from being an athlete that today I got to work on me,
Mhm.
or today I got to do maybe some of the routines or some of the things that you do for your own personal development?
So I'm always listening for, is there a good book I should read, or is there a good audio book I should listen to? The one that I'm listening to right now is Ultimate Sales Machine. It's called
Hmm.
Ultimate Sales Machine, and Chet Holmes.
Hmm.
It's by Chet Holmes, really good book. And I listened to it once, then I went back and listened to the one part on time management, because that's the foundation of all of it. And I was like, okay, I have to get this one piece. So what I'd done in the past, I would listen and then I would feel good that I can say I've listened to 20 books. But it's like, no, let me master this one part that they've taught. So I think what what I do to develop myself is slow down. A lot of times we think development is more, but it's actually taking stuff away, cutting stuff out, slowing down, and doing this one part well. Okay, you get that one part, then you add the next part. And you do that one part fast though. So let me be clear. I'm not saying take forever on the one thing. No, no,
Hmm.
try to implement quickly and then implement the next thing and implement the next thing. So that's the first part, is books or podcasts, YouTube, like listening for this one skill I want to develop. The second thing is getting feedback from peers. So I'm
Okay.
asking people around me, does this make sense? Does this sound right? Am I being consistent in whatever area? That's key. And then the third part is Probably the most difficult yet most important, Dr. V, that isn't talked about enough is just being honest with myself.
Ooh.
My 60-year-old self, I give my 60-year-old self permission to check me,
Oh,
my 43-year-old self. And she may say, girl, if you don't get up and get to that gym, we need to be strong. I know you're tired, but so you having an idea of your future self and what would that future self say to your current self, that helps in decision making for sure.
so good. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm like energized and filled, and Angela and I, she's going to come to a conference, and if you're watching this now, if you're that's going to be on the 17th of January, and it's called Becoming Through Action, and we're going to concentrate on goal setting with AI. And so she's going to be a speaker. I want you guys to jump on, get some more gems. We're going to do some more stuff in the Becoming the Person community. It's just going to be so fun to have you and all the things that you're doing. I'm so excited. So I'm going to do one of these virtual conferences every month this year. So I hope that you'll want to come back. And so I'll find the name of the next one that's going to be in. Maybe I should just promote this one first. I did wait to tell. No, I'm going to tell you the name of the new one. I wrote it down, and but before I'm looking for the name of it, is there anything that you wanted to talk about? Because I am so selfish on the first part of this interview, and it's not even what I think that my listeners want. It's totally what I want to do. It's like feeling my heart. And you have, but is there anything that you wanted to talk about that we didn't get an opportunity to talk about? Please do that right now.
Yes, there's one thing I would like to tie up the loose end of the triple threat confidence framework.
Okay,
so the first part was identity, which I think we delved into a lot in this interview. And then we talked about direction, right? Having the vision and overcoming the valley, like through the difficult time, the direction, knowing the direction that you're going makes a difference. And then it helps you have confidence in life if you have a direction. And then the third piece to the triple threat confidence framework is impact. It's volunteering. It's looking at who can I serve, who can I help, and using what you've learned through your valleys, using what you've learned through the difficult moments and helping someone else. So for all the people who've ever played sports, you could literally teach someone else how to play and not discounting what you've done before because it's not your identity anymore. Well, you still learn the skill. Just because it's not your identity doesn't mean you don't have the skill. And no, it doesn't mean you have to coach a team, but like I'll go into this one basketball team here in Dallas and I'll go once a month. Once a month, I'll go in and I'll help the girls and I'll be able to teach that, but that's not what I do all the time. So looking to see who we can help more in terms of volunteering. And the last piece of that impact is quantifying your wins, quantifying the little wins. When we say victory and we won, we're talking about like that one instance. But if we want to consistently be confident and generate confidence, we actually want to record the small wins that we have. I have every version of this children's book that I created, and it is very different now than it was before, but I can see the progress and I can go back and show someone the progress because someone else is going to need it. I was at a co-working space the other day and someone said to me, you know what? I'm thinking about writing a book. I'm like, okay, well, let me help you through this. And there are people who helped me write my first book because they did it and they showed me their progress. So to have impact, we want to record our wins, not only for us to be confident, but then we can share those wins with other people and also be willing to volunteer and help someone else with what we've learned, regardless if it's our identity now or not. So triple threat framework, identity, direction, and impact.
I love that. Identity, direction, and impact. What a way to change the world. Oh my God. And I thank you so much for just sharing your heart with us today and the things that you've been able to just share. I hope if you're just watching this and you are stopping and you are writing things down, I know this will be one that I'll listen to several times as I know it's going to help me grow. It's going to help in my own development. and I think about future, I can't say 60-year-old Brian because I'm 60 now, so I'll say 70-year-old Brian can check me. That's such a great thought. I'll be able to jump and say all that. And then so I'm excited about you being at our event. How can
Yes.
people get a hold of you if they need to get a hold? Because you need to take this young lady and you need to put her on your stages and you need to buy her books and you need to all the things that she invite her to intimates. There's going to be a wonderful time that you will have and learn and grow if you utilize it. So how do folks get a hold of
Thank you so much, Dr. B. First, give honor where honor is due. Thank you, thank you, thank you for inviting me on. Thank you for inviting me to the workshop. I am excited to speak. If you would like to connect with me, you can find me on LinkedIn, Angela R. Lewis. My website is angelarlewis.com, or connect with me on Instagram, the Angela R. Lewis. So Angela R. Lewis on LinkedIn, angelarlewis.com, and the Angela R. Lewis on Instagram. And
you?
I'll have the framework, the triple threat confidence framework. I'll give you a link to that and we could put it in the show notes.
Yes, let's absolutely do that. I said I'd find the name for the event in March, or no, February. So I hope you will be speaking at that one too. But it's called AI Productivity Hacks Smart People Wish They Knew in January. And
Oh,
so
that's good.
yeah, that's
Okay,
going
I
to be
have some.
all right. I love it. I love it. I love it. So she just said she has some. So you jump in, but don't miss the one on the 17th. If you're hearing this before, if you're hearing it after, just look up what we're doing. Again, thank you for being on. For me, it's, I love having folks like yourself that are on, that are coming on, that are going to make a difference in people's lives. I always want to say, that you're God's greatest gift. He loves you if you allow him to. But the other part of that is for folks that are just wondering if they're enough. I promise you that if you're listening to this today, you are the answer to somebody else's prayer. You are absolutely the answer. And God put you on this planet to be able to do that. And that means living boldly with purpose. And that means making things happen that sometimes that you just go, yeah, I'm not ready for this, or I didn't think I was enough, or I wasn't good enough. And I want to tell you, you are good enough. You were designed for greatness. And so make sure you take advantage of that. Angela, do you have one final thought
Amen.
before we finish?
Be unstoppable.
Oh, I love it. I
With
love it.
courage and heart, you'll be unstoppable. Just be unstoppable in 2026.
Oh, I love it. All right, you guys have an amazing, awesome, just incredible day. And we will talk to you on the next one. Again, Angela, thank you. I can't wait to talk to you again. And we will talk soon. Have a great, great day.